SCG Con was this weekend. Let's talk about how I did. Hi friends, welcome back to Nearly Sane Games. I'm Neil, and today we're going to be talking about my trip to SCG Con. Now, first up on Saturday was the Indianapolis Calling event. Now, I decided that I was going to try running Kano and see what I could do with him. So, first round, 10 a.m., I get there. I take no damage from my first opponent. Total victory. My first opponent didn't show up. But I'm going to take it anyway. Round 2, I run up against a Katsu. He had no arcane barrier. So, this one, I worked real hard on blocking from my hand. I hit an awesome sonic boom into Toma Findel. Can't play Toma Findel off a sonic boom. I play Stir the Aether Winds wrong. I played that and then tried to play Gaze the Ages after that. Except it doesn't work like Gaze the Ages works like that. I got that back to my hand, but Stir the Aether Winds did not buff up my next attack. So he's at 9, I'm at 1. He comes in for his attack. I have an all blue hand, a Kano, and I'm able to Lesson in Lava and Reverberate, and then I Kano again, get a Tome, draw 2, draw a blue and a Blazing, and I'm able to finish him off. So that's 3 from the Lesson in Lava, 3 from the Reverberate, and then another 6 from the Blazing Ether. Able to take down a ninja. My third round is against Alexi. This time he has no arcane barrier, but he is running Shock Charmers, which has Spell Void 2. Important tip about Kano. What many people will do to new Kano players is they will say, move to Arsenal. And especially on turn 1, hey, I'm going to move to Arsenal. Haha. And then Kano says, oh, I'm going to do all my Kano things. And then they say, great, I'm going to use my action point now and blast you for a bunch of damage. Don't fall for that. If they say move to Arsenal, you say go right ahead. That's not what I did in this match. So Lexi said move to Arsenal. And I said, great. I hate this hand. I had 2 Toma Findels and 2 Stirs, and so I can Kano and see if I can see what I get out of it. He comes back and blasts me for 14 points of damage. Things are going bad. He's still at 20, and I'm at 4. So I have 3 blue cards and a Sonic Boom. I use Kano into Stir, fire off for 6, and he uses his Spell Void for 2. I flip over a Snapback, I Kano to draw 2, hit a Tome, draw 2, Kano into a blue. I use my Energy Potion and my Tunic Counter, and am able to Blazing for 7. So I die. I got him down to 6, but that's the best I could do. I was at 4. He had a lethal attack coming in, and that was the end of that. Round 4. This is against my first Starvo. Starvo runs, typically will run the boots as Arcane Barrier, but also has Crown of Seeds, so I count that as 1.5 Arcane Barrier. Turn 1, of course, he Starvos. He hit me with 2 full power Okanolds. At that point, if he's going to hit me and take 2 cards from my hand, and it's a dominated attack, I will typically try to block 1 card and burn the rest into Kano's ability and see what damage I can do. It wasn't enough. He landed 2 Lake Frigids on me. One of the Lake Frigids he had around for 2 turns. Channel Lake Frigid is very punishing for Kano and very hard to play around. Crown of Seeds, again, even if I wasn't hitting him, he was going to Crown of Seeds. I got him down to 10 before he killed me off. So round 5 was against Eviscerai. I believe he only had 1 Arcane Barrier. But he had 2 Revel and Rune Bloods, a lot of mixed blocks. I got him now down to 19. I was at 3. I tried to Kano into something. He was swinging for lethal, and I had 2 blues off the top, and I'm dead. So 2-4, and then I drop is my official calling showing, and that's a little bit fake because one of those was a no. One of those wins was a no-show. So Sunday comes along, and we go to the Battle Hardened event. This event is 6 rounds, and if you win 3 of those rounds, you get into the tickets. So and it pretty much incentivizes you to play all 6 rounds. My first round was against a Starvo. Not as many Starvo turns as the previous Starvo I played. I took 9 early, so I could hit back for 7. Math is not good. I missed a lot of Tunic triggers. I went to this event and I think my brain was kind of scrambled. I really wasn't thinking about a lot of the things, but I popped my boots early so I can get an extra 6 damage off of an Aether Flare. And I was at 5, he was at 7, and he Starvos off. I do what I can, but I can only push through 6. If I had one of those cards that was in my hand, instead of being red, had it been a blue, I could have potentially pushed through another point of damage and killed him. So that one was really close, and I was happy with my showing there. I did miss my Tunic triggers. Maybe that could have made a difference, but probably not. So round 2 against another Viscerai. That is not what I want to see. I took a 10-point hit early. And when you're at 30 points and you go down to 20, it's not great. I took some more setup and was able to get an 8-point Forked Lightning. This was kind of a slow burn. I would take what I could on my turn, and I would block with what I wasn't going to be able to throw at him. We were 8 and 9. I was at 8, and I didn't have the kill, so I took my whole turn to block out and struggled to stay alive. I only have the boots, so I block 1 with... he threw 1 arcane spell at me that had 2 arcane coming directly from that, and I used the boots for 1 of that, so I had 1 floating from my blue, and I used the blue and a Tunic resource to block 1 rune chant, which is a little disheartening, but you know, I had that good turn earlier, so I burned off some of my arcane barrier, and so I managed to survive, and I'm on 4. He's still on 9. I'm able to throw a Lesson in Lava at him. He takes 3, which I'm happy for. So he's down to 6. I'm 4, he's 6. He runs a Sonata Arcanix, I take one arcane from that. He gets a pull off of that. He pulls another Sonata, and I take another arcane off of that. Now we're down to 2 to 6, and he attacks for a lot. I don't know. Very lethal for me. I certainly didn't have the arcane barrier that I needed to have any chance of blocking that out. And he has only Skullcap available to him for any arcane barrier. So I'm at 2, he's at 6. I break my boots, fire off a red spindle for 4. He has to take all of that. He gets down to 2. I'm at 2. His Skullcap is not online. Also have a snapback. Snapback for 3, and he can't block any of it. So I managed to take out a Viserai. Pretty happy with that. That was a pretty good victory in as far as I'm concerned. Now my round 3 was against a Starvo. He was running the gloves and the boots as well as Crown. But this was a newer player, and he didn't Starvo as much. He sent over an Oakenold, not fused. Don't send over an Oakenold not fused if you're playing Starvo. You should always have that fused. If not, maybe you should consider arsenaling that. But Oakenold not fused, so I'm able to block some of it and take some of it. He also sends over some blue Starvo attacks, which are much less threatening. A lot of just the Earth cards, so it wasn't. There was no on-hit effects, and he was taking a lot of my attacks. Again, a new player. I think he was excited about the cards that he had in hand, wanted to play those. I was at 19. He was at 11. He fires off a Starvo and launches into a Pulverize. So that's Pulverize is coming in for 17 or something, and the on-hit effect doesn't affect me. I've got 19. I'm got plenty of health. So I look at what I've got, and so I Kano and get an Emeritus Scolding, and Kano again, and there's a Blazing Ether. So I fire off Emeritus Scolding. I pump it up with Crucible to make it 7 because it's his turn, and then I'm able to pop off Blazing for another 7 and kill him right then and there. That was a really good game, but I put that largely on my opponent not being very familiar with how Kano plays and not playing around that very well. My round 4 was another Starvo. Again, the 1.5 Arcane Barrier. He had a few Starvo attacks. I did pull some all-red hands. Able to do a Forked Lightning for 6. And then I was able to get another Forked Lightning for 6 on a Starvo turn. I did try to use the Sigil to block one of his attacks, and I was Kanoing into the other Sigil that's in my deck. Can't play Sigil from Kano. So, stuck there. And he was bringing in too many big dominated attacks. At some point, if Starvo goes off enough times, he's just going to beat down any opponent. And it's worse with Kano because you only start with 30 life. I wasn't getting the big attacks that I needed, and I was 2, and he was still at 18 when he finally took me out. My round 5 was against a Dorinthia Axes build. Now, this person must have left his Arcane Barrier at home. He had the Skullcap, but not much else. So Dory can pump out some big hits, and I certainly took some big hits. And of course, when you block, you're punished for blocking because Dory has all of the cards that do things when your opponent blocks from hand. But the other option is to just take a face full of damage. and that really wasn't working for me. Um, so he got me down to 17. He was still at 30. Um, I managed to get a Forked Lightning and get it pumped up to 8. And I popped the boots because I had a Blazing Aether and sent in another 8. It was a really big attack. I know I'm not supposed to pop the boots until it's the kill. I know this. I don't know. I sometimes I get these big attacks with the Blazing Aether, and I just looking to get his life total down. So get down to uh, he was at 9, I was at 5, and he goes into I draw an all red hand, and he rolls into a spill blood turn. So Axe is coming in huge, dominate. I block from hand, what I can, and I burn my tunic. I burn my skull cap. Everything's gone, but I managed to live, and I still managed to come back. And I had, I think maybe a snapback that I threw on my turn, just for one, just for 3. So he takes it because he doesn't have any arcane barrier. And I'm just trying to stay alive. So now I'm at 2 and he's at 6. He rolls in with an attack. I Kano. I pull a tone. Draw 2. Kano. Stir and Aether Flare. Crucible Stir. Aether Flare. 7 for the win. All right. So now I am 3 and 2, which that's in the tickets, and I'm pretty happy with that result. So going into my last round was kind of just for funsies, and I roll into a Team Kitchen Fable player playing Viserai. Don't want to run into team players. That's not cool. They have practice. All right, so I did managed to get a turn with a Forked Lightning for 8 and then Blazing Aether for 9. But I also did take a hit for 20. I believe I was at 23. It took me down to 3. I'd already burned my Arcane Barrier, and so I didn't have much of anything for that. I was down to 3. He was at 13, and I was able to, I think I hit him with an Aether Flare. I was able to pump it up, and he blocked 1, and I scryed 3, and I didn't see anything that was really going to win. What I probably needed was him to take all of the Aether Flare, get exactly Snapback and Blazing Aether on top, have him take all of the Snapback, and then have him take all of the Blazing Aether. That might have been a winning line, but of course he had Arcane Barrier 1, or he had Arcane Barrier 2, so he was able to block some of it, and I didn't have the Blazing Aether for it, so I tried my best, and I lost that match. So Battle Hardened, I went 3 and 3, and I'm really excited about that. This is Kano. I'm not very good. I don't know all the lines properly, so just trying to figure things out, and to be able to pull off 3 wins against anybody with Kano, I'm pretty excited about. I obviously still need more practice. I did talk to Justin Graham a little bit, who is the person that made this deck, and who also had a recently took down a big finish. But he said that he's going to be replacing the Tunic for Deep Blue, because how many resources do you get off of Tunic? And I said, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 each turn. And he's like, why is your games going that long? You should be just throwing things at their face. Why are you blocking? And I said, yeah, I'm blocking. And he's like, no, you should be throwing them at your face. There seems to be parts of that are missing for me. and he insists that you should be pulling 2 cards out of their hand every turn if they're on Arcane Barrier. And in my experience, especially with the Starvos, it is throw something for 3 at their face. They will Crown and Arcane Barrier, pitching a blue. And if you throw something else at their face, they will use their Arcane Barrier to block 1 more. That's still only 1 card out of their hand, and they got to swap out their arsenal. So that still seems like a difficult line to me. And if Starvo is going to Starvo and take cards out of your hand, I just tend to dump my hand and see what I can get. There's probably more nuance there that I'm still working on, and I'm going to continue to still work on this. I think that Kano is an interesting hero to play, and I'm going to keep trying to make him work, and we'll see if I can make things work better. So that's it for now. I'm Neil, and you've been watching Nearly Same Games.